Vaishyam Vacham Prasuktam Sanjeevayatyakilasthidharasvathamna Yam Sahastra Karna Shravanatpasadi Pranam Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Gurum Hisvayam Tathyaha Prajnāti Vinityaha Vidhishchāvivartasastam Samgurum Pranamāmyaham Sadāshivasamarambhāṁ Shankarācāryamadhyamāम् Asmadācāryaparyantāṁ Vandē Guruparamparaṁ. We're done up to 48. Let us start from 44. Sambhāvitasya maranaadhikam kim duryasho bhavati loke sukhi bhavet kaha anavahanam anavapichakim yatascheshtam sarvasukhanam nijam kim punyam dukhamadingitaha pavad kasvishtaryam yatilashankaramahayet bhaktya ko varthate vinitaha ko vāgiyeta yodhitaha ko na pratyetavyaha druteyaschanam shishyat putrahandatetyapapam yachoktam dharmarakshartham ko dharmobhimataha yasishtanam nijakulinam sadhubalam kim daivam kasadhu sarvada tushtaha daivam kim yatsukrutam kassukriti sladhyate yasadbhihi. Grihamehinascha mitram kim bharya
Grihamehinascha mitram kim bharya Grihamehinascha mitram kim bharya
ko grihi cha yo yajate
ko grihi cha yo yajate ko grihi cha yo yajate
ko yajnaha
ko yajnaha ko yajnaha
yashrutyaha vihitashreyaskarō nrunām
yashrutya vihitashreyaskarō nrunām yashrutya vihitashreyaskarō nrunām.
There are three questions and answers in this verse 123, 24 and 25. Grihamehinascha mitram kim bharya. Mitram means friend. Grihamehinascha mitram kim. Grihamethi is someone who has entered into household. Okay, so into family life. So he is called Grihamethi. Okay, Grihamethinascha mitram kim. Who is the friend of one who has entered into household? Grihamethinascha mitram kim bharya. Bharya. So the word literally means one who is to be supported by you. This is what literally the word bharya means. This way we have this word bharya somewhere in Vedavogindam also. Bharya bibhyati tasmin kaye. We have the word bharya bibhyati. See, bibhyati is actually a plural form. See, bibhyati, bibhitaha, bibhyati. So there the usage is bharya bibhyati. So if that refers to bharya, wife, so then the plural form will be invalid. Understand? Bharya bibheti tasmin kare should be there. But Shankara has used bharya bibhyati tasmin kaye. So when the life has left. So what is to be understood by the term bharya there? So bharyaha. Okay. So bharyaha bibhyati. That is perfect. So bharyaha means those who are to be supported by you. Those who have been supported by you. Okay. So it can refer to the servants, it can refer to son, daughter, whoever it is, whoever you have been supported. Bharya vibhyati tasmin kaye. So here bharya. So here grihamedhinascha mitram kim bharya. So here it is a singular usage only. Not in that sense, though literally the word means those who are supported by you, okay, so whose burden you are supposed to take. So that is what it means, okay. So it is your duty to protect them at all cost. So they are bharya. So grihamedhinascha mitram kim, when he asked this question, so bharya is the answer. So if you remember earlier, Kim mitram. So what was the thing that she said? Yo nivarayati papat. Right? Now here grihamedhinasya mitram kim bharya is what he says. Now yo nivarayati papat. In fact, the definition of mitram is the one who saves you from committing ill deeds. Okay? So, yo nivarayati papat, bad deeds. Now, grihamedhinascha mitram kim, when you ask, so one of the prime duties of the wife is to see that if there is anything which the husband says, okay, or does, which is likely to be incorrect, so then she has to pitch in. In fact, here in Ramayana, there is a very interesting discussion between Sita and Rama. So when they are in the forest, so Rama commits to sages that he will kill Rakshasas. So then he kills so many of them. Now Sita suddenly pitches in and then asks Rama, Rama, how is it that you are killing so many people who have done nothing against you or against Dharma? If their Dharma, they are living. So she asks, no, see, I have committed to them that, so they might have done something for them. So how are you doing now? Okay. So Rama, the question is very valid question because Rama cannot defend himself saying that I am the king and therefore I have to protect. You are also a forest dweller now like anybody. Right? As a king you can say that I am supposed to protect them. But you are not king anymore. So they have not done no harm for you and you are doing. So then Rama goes on and explains to her that it is not necessarily that the king alone has to pitch in when something against dharma happens. See, that is very important for us to understand. So when adharma happens, then you can pitch in. It is not that only that fellow who is in charge. So if somebody does something harm, so then you can pitch in. So and then say, you cannot do this. It is for everybody to see that the overall dharma is protected. And particularly, that is why the Stree, Bharya, in many families, so they are supposed to be the protectors of dharma. Even Dharma Shastra somewhere, so after saying all Dharma Shastras, so ultimately, so if what is dharma, what is adharma is not known to you, then you better learn from the elderly people at home, who are wives. Great. Anyway, so this is very important to understand. So So Grahamedhinascha Mitram Kim. There are various aspects to it. One is that this person has to share everything as he shares with a friend. You understand? So to the wife. So Mitram means the most dear friend. And the duty of the Mitram is to see that Papan Nivarayati in the Bhagavad Gita also we have this. See, Strishu Dushtasu Varshneya Jayate Varnasankaraha. So they are upholders of Dharma. This is our tradition. This has to be understood. So Papan Nivarayati Yojayate Hitaya Guhyam Niguhati Gunan Prakati Karoti. Guhyam Niguhati Gunan Prakati Karoti. Apadgatancha Najahati Dadati Kale Sanmitra Lakshanamidam Pravadanti. So they fulfill this, that's what I'm saying. So Grahamedhi Nasta Mitram Kim. So Bharya. In fact, this is a beautiful. There is a beautiful verse which appears in Uttar Ramacharita. So this Bharya, Rama at some stage recalls. So this Uttar Ramacharita is basically the Ayodhya Kanda. See how this Dampatya has to be there. So Mitram Kim means absolute trust should be there. So between the two. If that is not there, it doesn't work. Okay? So there, where today you were saying, Ganesh, okay, so absolute trust has to be there in some context, and the give and take should be there between friends. So Grahamedhinascha. So Rama says, he is recalling how he was with Sita. This is Uttar Ramacharita. So there he says, beautiful verse, Advaitam Sukha Dukkhayor Anugatam Sarvasvavasthasu Yat Vishramo Hridayasya. So Mitram is Apadgatancha Najahati. That is how it is. Okay. So nowadays this Bharya, this Mitratvam is completely, it is far more than a Mitram. But it is just some sort of a relation that doesn't really work. Okay. So Grahamedhinascha Mitram Kim, there he is saying, Advaitam Sukha Dukkhayoho Anugatam Sarvasvavasthasu. So he says, so we experienced Advaitam in all instances. Sukha Dukkhayoho Anugatam Sarvasvavasthasu. See, Sarvasvavasthasu means Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, everywhere. See, Sukha Dukkhayoho, between husband and wife. So Grahamedhinascha Advaitam Sukha Dukkhayoho Anugatam Sarvasvavasthasu Yatu. See, Vishramo Hridayasya Yatra Jarasa Yasmin Aharyo Rasaha. So that is how he says. Vishramo Hridayasya Yatra Jarasa Yasmin Aharyo Rasaha. So Aharyo Rasaha means once you have this kind of a Mitratvam, Sanmitratvam, absolute trust, then Aharyo Rasaha. So it will be ever cherishable. Otherwise, this doesn't work. So for convenience, I will marry, for then I will leave. It doesn't work. Grahamedhinascha Mitram Kim Bharya. Then he says, Ko Grihi Cha Yo Yajate. And then he asks this question. Ko Grihi Cha. So who is to be considered a Grihastha? Ko Grihi. Grihi means one who lives in house. Everybody lives in house. Okay. Ko Grihi Cha. There he says, Yo Yajate. Yajate means performs yajnas. Ko grihicha yo yajate. It performs yajnas. So yajnas obviously includes Deva yajna, Pitri yajna, Bhuta yajna, Manusha yajna, and of course Brahma yajna. Brahma yajna you can do without getting into grihastham, ashrama. But many of these yajnas that have been prescribed in our scriptures have to be done with wife. Okay? So that way there is a very interesting verse. Dhanyo grihasthashramaha. They say grihasthashramaha dhanyaha. Why? Because it is something which can protect all other ashramas. But the important point here is yo yajate. So the one who is willing to commit to perform these yajnas, then he is grihastha. Otherwise, see, this manusha yajna means to anybody who comes anytime, I will be willing to serve. So that readiness should be there with the grihini. So that is why we say grihini grihamuchyate. In fact, grihini grihamuchyate. In fact, so griham, if it is to be declared, so it is grihini who makes griha. Okay. Otherwise, it is some residential apartment. It is not home. Okay. So that is why we use the term. Even in English, they have the term called homemaker. Understand? So it cannot be a homemaker unless this person is willing to do this manusha yajna. Okay. So cooking only for yourself, so it is meaningless. There is a bhunjate te tvagam papaha epachanti atmakaranat. In Bhagavad Gita, they have a statement. Bhunjate te tu agham. They only eat sin, stronger. Agham papaha epachanti atmakaranat. Those who cook only for themselves, they only eat sin. So therefore, one has to share. So that is what he is meant here. Ko grihicha yo yajate. Yajate means that she takes a major part in cooking, and whatever she cooks is offered. Okay? So that is what is implied by this. Ko grihicha deva yajna, pitra yajna. You understand? Bhuta yajna, manusha yajna, all the four, it is the women who has to play a major role. Grihini. So deva yajna, so you can do, but some of these deva yajnas cannot be done by this person alone. So there are various kinds of deva yajnas. And Agnihotram is considered as one of the most important things. And the Agnihotram can be performed if the Grihini is at home. Even if the Yajamana is not there. You understand? So that is how it is. Okay? So that is how our system has been formulated. Ko grihicha yo yajate. Unless one engages in, it is all futile. Ko grihicha yo yajate. Then the question is, ko yajnyaha. So what is to be considered as yajna? So then the next question. Okay. So here they are all nicely connected. Ko yajna. So then it is said, yashrutya vihitaha shreyaskaro nranam. So anything cannot be considered as yajna. Yashrutya vihitaha. Whatever has been stated in Shruti. Okay. So there is injunction in Shruti. Vihitaha. Okay. So Shrutya Vihitaha. Whatever is ordained upon by the Shruti. Then it says Shreyaskaro Nranam. This is again a very, very important statement to be understood. Shreyaskaraha. So this term Shreyaha has been nicely explained in Kathopanishad, right? See, we have Shreyaha Preyaha. So Shreyaha is basically Amritattva. Okay? So Amritattva. Preyaha is Putra Pashvadimatva. So one refers to the material prosperity, the other refers to the spiritual upliftment. Shreyaha. Okay? Spiritual upliftment and material prosperity. If he says Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametah. In fact, very clearly distinguishes, right? Anyat Shreyaha, Anyatutaiva Preyaha. Evubhe Nanarthe. Nanarthe means they are going in two different directions. Purushagam Sinitaha. Ayo Shreya Adadanasya Sadhu Bhavati. Iyate Arthat. Evu Preyo Vrinite. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametah. Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha. Dhiraha Vivinakti. Dhiraha. What is Dhiraha? Dhyam Ratiti Dhiraha. Okay, so that is how the word is derived. Dhyam Rati Dhiraha. Dhyam Irayate is also another form. Irayate. So the word here is Dhiraha chooses. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametah. Yataha means Prapnutaha. They come to you. So both of them come and present to you. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametah. Tau Samparitya. Samparitya means having thought over, pondered well. Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha. Vivinakti he clearly distinguishes. Shreyo hi dhiraha abhipreyaso vrinite. What does it mean? So in Veda, sometimes these prefixes, okay, need not necessarily go with the verb. So this is one instance here. Okay. So abhivrinite is the verb here. Shreyo hi dhiraha abhipreyaso vrinite. Abhipreyasaha no ratagre. It is not a word. So abhi is separate. Shreyo hi dhiraha preyasaha abhivrinite. Preyasaha means, so here preyaha is not even from this word. See, preyaha means something which is better. It has different connotations. Okay. So preyasaha means by virtue of being superior. That is what it means. Preyaso hetoho. Okay. Shreyo hi dhiraha abhipreyaso vrinite. Shreyaha dhiraha abhivrinite. Why preyaso hetoho? Because of that being preyas. Far better than the others. That is what
Superiority reasons. Superiority reasons.
Correct. Exactly. Shreyo hi dhiraha abhipreyaso vrinite. On the other hand, this manda buddhi, mandaha alpa buddhi. Okay. Shreyo hi dhiro abhipreyaso vrinite. Preyo mando yogakshema vrinite. So this alpa buddhi, so chooses prayers. Okay. In fact, some people keep saying now, because of this corona kind of a problem, many of the Indians, the elderly people have now started saying, so, Yogakshema Prayaha Prayaha. So these fellows have gotten stuck in America. Okay. So I told them itself, they did not listen to me. So that is how they keep lamenting. Anyway, so Yogakshema Drinite. See, Yogaha is basically getting more and more material gains. That is all. Yogakshema Drinite. Anyway, so the point here is, what are these yajnas meant for? See, you have to understand. See, Yashrutya Vihitaha Shreyaskaro Nrunam. See, this is a very interesting statement. The Shreyaskaraha, see, how does yajna get you Shreyas? So many of these yajnas are only meant for prayers. So this is what we may think. But ultimately, so it is meant for chitta shuddhi, and thereby you get so shreyaha, shreyaskaraha. So that has been analyzed in Shastras. So o yajnaha yashrutya vihitaha shreyaskaro nrinam. In fact, the other way to understand is, so by the word shreyaha, one can also take a prayer. So Shrutya Vihitaha, in fact, Sahayajna Praja Srishtva Purovacha Prajapati Anena Prasavishyatvam Yeshavos Ishta Kamadhuk. Ishta Kamadhuk, when they say, it can refer to both Shreyaha and Preyaha. Read. Grihame Dinascha Mitram Kim Bhaya Ko Grihicha Yo Yajate Ko Yajna
यश्रुत्या विदितश्रेयस्करो नृणाम्
कस्य क्रिया हि सफला
कस्य क्रिया हि सफला कस्य क्रिया हि सफला
यः पुनराचारवाञ्छिष्टः
यः पुनराचारवाञ्छिष्टः यः पुनराचारवाञ्छिष्टः
कशिष्टः
कशिष्टः कशिष्टः
यो वेदप्रमाणवान्
यो वेदप्रमाणवान् यो वेदप्रमाणवान्
को हतः क्रियाभ्रष्टः
को हतः क्रियाभ्रष्टः को हतः क्रियाभ्रष्टः.
So here also there are 3 questions and answers. Kasya kriya hi safala yah punaracharaman shishtaha. Kasya kriya hi safala. Kriya is activity. Safala. Safala means which has success. Okay? Safala, that has fruit. Phalena saha vartate iti safala. So this is what one needs to understand by the term safala. Success is the word that they use, saphalyam. Now the question is, kasya kriya hi safala? The answer he says is, yah punaracharavan shishtaha. So, whose activity can be considered successful? So, anybody who performs any activity, obviously it has some outcome. Okay? So, that outcome can be considered safala only under these circumstances, is what he is trying to hint here. Yah punaracharavan shishtaha. See, this is to be understood a little more carefully. Shishtaha, by definition, is one who performs activities as per the prescriptions in Shruti. Veda Pramanava. In fact, next part is Kashishtaha Veda Pramanava. Veda Pramanava, what does it mean? One who considers Veda as Pramana. So Pramana means a valid means of knowledge. Okay? Pramana is valid means of knowledge. So Pramakaranam Pramanam. What do I mean by valid means of knowledge? A knowledge, see, a means which generates a valid knowledge. So that is what one needs to understand. Valid means of knowledge means, okay, means that generates a valid knowledge. Pramakaranam pramanam. Now, Veda Pramanavan means one who believes in Veda as valid means of knowledge. So he believes that what is stated in Veda is for the benefit of me, benefit of humanity, and so on and so forth. I have to do this. Now this question here is, Kasya kriyahi saphala. So obviously this activity is done by Shishta. So we have to first of all take that. Okay. So it is not any activity it is being referred to, but activity performed by. Even when people perform this activity, so many activities keep happening in many places. But we also see that that does not necessarily generate the expected output. Okay? So there he is hinting, Shankara, yaf punar acharavan. Acharavan shishtaha. Okay. So acharavan shishtaha means one who practices what has been laid down in Veda in his own life. See, merely doing some activity does not necessarily ensure the result. Who performs, what is the attitude with which he performs, both of them matter. Okay? So that is very important. Therefore, we have this statement, Achara paramo dharma, Achara paramam tapaha, Achara paramam jnanam, Achara kinna sadhyate. So Acharaha is, in fact, Acharya is a term that is used to people who do not merely act as teachers. You can't employ the word Acharya. It is a nice definition. Achinoti cha shastrani Achare sthapayatyati Swayam acharate yasmat tasmad acharya uchyate. Achinoti means gathers from various sources. Chinoti means plucks, gathers. Okay, that is how the word chiti also comes. Ichena chiti and so on. Things are put together. Achinoti means asamantat chinoti. Okay, so he does not gather from one place alone, but many places. So which means he is dedicated to knowledge, first thing. Okay. Ekam shastra madhiyanaha navidyat shastra nischayam tasmat bahushrutaha shastram vijaniyat chikitsakaha. So this is a very important prescription for medical doctors. Ekam shastra madhiyana. You gain something somewhere. Navidyat shastra nischayam. It is true of any shastra. Okay. So ekam shastra madhiyanaha navidyat shastra nischayam tasmad bahushrutaha. This bahushrutaha is what is implied by achinoti. So gathers from various sources. Okay. Achinoti cha shastrani. Okay. Shastrani achinoti. Not one shastra. Achinoti cha shastrani. Achare sthapayatyapi. Katsapin nirka adarkitaha. You understand? Achare sthapayati. Sthapayati means for himself as well as others. Sthapayati means others also. He just says that this is how you have to be, this is what is good. Achare sthapayatyapi. Swayam. In fact, that is why there is nothing like greater Acharya than mother. So Acharya sthapayati. Acharya sthapayati. Swayam acharate yasmatu. So he is able to make others do because he does by himself. Okay. For himself he does not do, he cannot tell others. Swayam acharate yasmat tasmad acharya uchyate. So this achara means acharavan. In fact, Paramacharya on many occasions used to say, many of these people nowadays perform these rituals. So they come and tell me that there has been no successful outcome. So we have done this, we expected this. But then he says that where all those who were performing where achara shilas. That is very, very important. See, whether you are a Vaidya, or you are a Purohita, or you are a Acharya, you have to first perform. See, Achare Sthapayati. Unless you stand for values, how can you inculcate values? So here, Kasya Kriya hi Safala. So Kriya here means Vaidika karma we can take. Okay? Yaf punaracharavan shishtaha. Acharavan shishtaha. Okay? So many a times he used to say this. Okay? Yaf punaracharavan shishtaha. Then the next question is Kashishtaha Yo Veda Pramanavan. Then Ko Hataha Kriyaha Prashtaha. Kaha Hataha. Hataha means finished, destroyed. See, Hataha. See, Hatova Prapsasi Swargam. Jitvava Bhukshasi. Hataha means finished. Okay. So finished in Ko Hataha. He is as if he is living no more. Okay. See, some people live even after they die. Some people are there dead even as they live. So that is what one means by Ko Hataha. Okay. Kriya Bhrashtaha. Kriya Bhrashtaha means Kriya Bhrashtaha. There are two ways in which one can understand. Kriya Bhrashtaha. So literally one can understand this to be. So those who do not perform activities which are supposed to be performed by them. Okay? Bhrashtaha means one who has fallen down. Okay? Ko hataha kriya bhrashtaha. If a teacher is supposed to teach well, if he is not doing that, then he is kriya bhrashtaha. Okay? So if the vigilance officer himself engages in nefarious activities, then kriya bhrashtaha. So any activity which is to be performed by them, if they do not perform, then it is kriya bhrashtaha. See, bhrashta kriyavani is a different thing. So bhrashta is something which is not to be done, and if he does it, he is called a bhrashtachara. Okay? So if one keeps drinking, etc., etc., it is bhrashtacharavan. Okay? Bhrashtachara is a phrase that people use.
Corruption.
Corruption. Hindi there. In Hindi, corruption is called bhrashtachar. Bhrashtachara means so engaging in something which is not to be done. Okay? So which is harmful. Okay? So harmful to the society more than individual. Okay? So kriya bhrashtaha here is slippings from something which is to be done, which essentially means dharma. Dharma. There is a beautiful verse. See, if you keep doing things which only animal kingdom does, so then there is nothing special. So here, as human beings, dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha dharmena hinaha pashubhis samana ahara nidra bhaya maithunancha. So eating, sleeping, bhayam, having fear from somebody else, maithunam, so engaging with the other sex, samanyame tatpashubhirnaranam, it is common to both animals and human beings. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha. So here he always refers to, that is why I was telling you, The Shishtaha Kriya. So Kriya is something which is to be understood as activity which is stated. And Kriya Bhrashtaha means so something which has been ordained by the Shruti, if you do not do. Ko hataha yaha kriya bhrashtaha. Ishtan bhogan hivo devaha dasyante yajna bhagitaha. Tair dattan apradayebhyo yo bhunte stena eva saha. Understand? So this kriya is something, so it is basically, so ishtan bhogan hivo devaha dasyante yajna bhagitaha. So these yajnas are the most important kriyas. You understand? So it is propitiating the nature, so conveying our attitude towards nature. Ishtan bhogan hivo devaha dasyante yajna bhavitaha. As you treat the other person. Okay, if you treat the other person well, he works for you. Okay, so he does things which you don't even expect. Dasyante yajnena bhavitaha means so they are pleased by these yajnas. Tair dattan, you keep enjoying whatever that has been given to you. Apradayebhyaha. Okay, you don't give it back to them. Yo bhunte, one who simply consumes. Stena eva saha. He is described as a thief. So that is why ko hataha yaha kriya bhrashtaha. Read. Kasya kriya visapala yah punaracharavaam shishtaha. Kashishtaha yogeda pramanavan kodataha kriya bhrashtaha. Kodhanyaha
Sannyasi
Omanyaha
Panditas sadhu
Kasevyaha yodata Kodata There are 4 questions, so I think maybe we'll take it up in the next class. Sarve Dasakanasantu, Sarve Santiramayaha, Sarve Kadrani Bashyantu, Mataschantu,